So, Dea, from day to day, we talk a lot to our patients about the importance of self-care, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that today with you. What do you think self-care is?
I think self-care is one's ability to take care of themselves emotionally, physically, and spiritually, and any other aspects that you could think of. I know I try to practice self-care the best I can, but how do you practice self-care? What do you do to take care of yourself?
I try to find time for myself. I think I spend a lot of time at work or at home, so I try to exercise regularly throughout the week, 30 minutes where I can have my headphones just playing music or watching a funny video, and also working on my health. So I do that a lot. I also like to connect with my friends whenever possible. So if it's once a week, going out to have a lunch or a dinner, just to make sure that I'm maintaining those relationships. And then sometimes I like to stay in. Sometimes I can be a little bit of an introvert, so staying home on a Saturday, watching a movie or reading a book. Those are some of the things that I like doing. But it's hard to find time to do those things with our busy schedules. And I was wondering, for you as a mom as well, how do you find time?
I try to have a balance. So one thing I do is once I put the baby down, I take time to watch my favorite TV show or connect with my husband or read a book in order to make sure that I'm taking care of myself as much as I'm taking care of others in my house. One thing that we talk about a lot is obviously like self-care. What do you think happens to those individuals who don't find the time to take care of themselves?
I feel if we don't take care of ourselves, I know I become really, really easily overwhelmed. I feel like the littlest of problems is like this huge big problem when I'm overly stressed. Maybe I have the wrong perspective on something, but that happens when I'm really not taking time for myself. So if someone is really not taking care of themselves, it could lead to poor quality in relationships, poor quality in their work and what they do. So I think it's super important that everyone takes into consideration how they're feeling in order for them to be able to give the best of themselves in whatever they do throughout the day.
One thing I've noticed, and I don't know if you've had the same experience, is some people can start to feel really anxious or really down or really sad when they take care of everybody but themselves. How do you think it has an impact on mental health?
Oh, that's a huge thing. When I feel like I'm the last person in line and everyone else is coming first, I start to feel like this emptiness inside, and I start to feel like the things that are coming from me don't have any value. And that's really important that people understand that if we're not caring for us, we can't care for other people. I think it's really important, though, that we do care for other people. So it's a really hard balance, because how do we care for others at the same time that we care for us? And that's why it's important to set time aside for you. And so I always talk to my patients about a love cup. Are you filling up your love cup today? Like, how did you fill up your love cup? And what that means is, how did you fill up your cup for you so that when you pour it over, there's something in there for others? Because that's just really important. Do you feel like you have a good balance of that in your life?
Sometimes, like you said, it's really hard to take care of myself when there's work and being a wife and other activities that you have to do just, as a mom. I try to maintain my balance. Other things that I think I can do that help me feel good are like volunteering and helping other people. So making sure I'm taking care of myself first, and then volunteer in other ways that I could help other people. Yeah. What other activities? So besides going to the gym and taking care of yourself and the physical way, what other things do you think can help with that self-care aspect?
I think some of the other things that people could do to really take care of themselves, sometimes listening to music, taking a relaxing bath, even getting a relaxing massage, getting back into touch with some of the hobbies or the interests that you once had. I used to do a lot of, singing and things like that. And sometimes when we get so busy, we don't do those things anymore. Or I've always wanted to learn how to play the piano, and those are some things that, I haven't dedicated enough time to. So how can I start putting some of those hobbies and those interests back into my schedule? Sometimes we're our biggest critics, right? Like, we really get on our case. We talk a lot about these are the things I should be doing and I'm not doing, and so we really put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and sometimes taking mini mental health breaks, just saying this is me, this is what's happening, this is how I'm feeling, this is real. Sometimes that's important. How do you practice self-love?
I think that somebody could practice self-love by simply not being so hard on yourself, accepting yourself for who you are, loving who you are, and doing what you love. If you're doing what you love and you are who you are, then you're going to be able to love yourself and get through those hard times when you are your biggest critic.
Right, just being comfortable with the person that you are and how you feel, even if you're super unique from other people. That's important.
Yeah.
So I think we should both probably practice a little bit more
Yeah.
self-care.
Yeah. Elsie, one thing that's really important is to stay in touch with your family and friends in order to maintain your self-care, right? How do you do that? How do you stay in touch with your family and friends?
I think planning is super important. I think as adults we do have a lot of stuff going on, but if we do have the value of relationship and friendship and family, then we need to plan ahead. So sometimes I will start, even on a Monday, I'll start texting some of my friends like, hey, what are you doing on Saturday? Or what are you doing on, this moment that I have some free time? Or hey, I'm going to be in town this day. Just so that we can kind of start planning ahead, even if it's like a 10-minute meetup or a quick coffee or going out for lunch or having a fun activity. But if I can't even be with that person, it's 2020, so I think social media is a really awesome thing that we are able to utilize to be able to stay in connection with other people. So even if I have friends in different states, I am able to, be in constant communication with them if I need to. So that's another really good perk to staying connected with others through using social media.
Cool.
So I think social media is a really good way of staying connected to other people, but sometimes I do get carried away. Sometimes I spend too much time doing that instead of maybe some of the other things that are also some of my responsibilities. What do you think?
I think that's totally true. Sometimes we could spend hours and hours, on Facebook or YouTube.
Scrolling through the videos.
Yes, just scrolling, and it's kind of like mindless. So yes, sometimes it helps you disconnect, but also sometimes it takes away time that we could be practicing our self-care. You know what I mean? Or sometimes we see other things there that would we compare ourselves to, and I feel like that could decrease our self-esteem because of, well, I should look like that or I should be like that, and I feel like that's where it gets unhealthy.
So instead of it actually helping us, it ends up hurting us.
So the biggest thing is, I think, limits. So having a limit, every day I'm going to do it for 10 minutes or 20 minutes in order to connect, like you said, connect with the family, connect with these people, but that's it.
Right. Be sure that you're using it in a wise way,
Yep.
not overutilizing it.
Elsie, we get so busy sometimes that we kind of neglect other areas of our life, such as our physical health or maybe our dental health or even our mental health. How important is that in part of our self-care?
Oh, that's super huge. There's moments where I recognize I'm super tired, I'm excessively tired, and I haven't really done anything different than what I'm usually doing. So the most important thing for me when I became an independent adult was making sure that I had regular appointments, scheduling my own appointments, scheduling dental appointments, the littlest of things that you don't necessarily think about every day, but our personal health is super important. So I always try to remember, how am I feeling? How is my physical? And what do I need to do to ensure that I stay healthy in the long run? So it's something that's super important to me as well.
Cool.
So we've talked a lot about self-care and what it means and what you think and what I think and how to find time to do that. But I think we've only scratched the surface.
Right.
I feel like there's so much more to who we are and how we take care of ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. So I think it's going to be awesome to be able to catch up again and talk about more of these things.
Yes, I agree. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it helpful.
And if there's anything that you guys feel resonated with you, or if there's any questions or concerns that you ever have, we would love to sit down and talk to you guys about it. Thank you so much.